Today, I'm going to be speaking up for the entire gaming community because I've sat back this last year and I've taken a look at the gaming industry. With all the bugs that these games are releasing with and the lack of content, I feel like right now, us gamers are being completely robbed of our money. Today, I just want to let this out of my system and talk to you guys about why the gaming industry is unfortunately taking a huge downwards curve. Let's jump into the video, guys. Today I want to talk about the gaming industry and all of these AAA games that have recently released because I've noticed this similarity between all of these games. Cyberpunk 2077, Battlefield 2042, which is the game you guys are seeing in the background. A lot of these games that release either have huge bugs which make the game completely unplayable, or they have a huge lack of content, or they have both. Is it really acceptable to charge full price, whether it be $60 to $130, depending on what edition you get, for a game to not even be complete? I mean, they're basically selling a faulty product. We're expected to pay for that product and we're not even getting the standard we deserve as gamers, right? Now, I'm not here to hate on any of the games or any of the developers. I know some people are going to be like, oh, why are you hating? You're just one of them haters. Well, it's a little bit different when you're paying your own money for a game and you're not even getting the content you deserve. It's like going into a phone shop, purchasing a phone, and you find out the screen is cracked. Now, I don't want to target Battlefield 2042 in today's video, but I do want to speak about that briefly because that is the latest game that is released, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, that has pushed me to make this video. Now, if you've seen my previous videos on Battlefield 2042, you will know I am really enjoying the game. I think it's really fun, but it does have a huge amount of problems. Should they have released the game? Absolutely not. They should have delayed it again, but it also has a lack of content as well. Now, this isn't the only game I'm talking about. Even COD Vanguard has a huge amount of bugs. I saw this clip of a guy calling in his dog kill streak, and the dogs are just running out of the map. They're like, nah, we're out of here. And I'm just sitting here thinking, how can a game that launched over 10 years ago, Call of Duty World at War, get the dogs done correctly, but a game that releases in today's day and age, 2021, with Unreal Engine and all this technology, they cannot even get the dogs to do their job properly. But COD World at War, which launched back in the day, managed to do it without a problem. The crazy thing is, back in the days where COD World at War, Modern Warfare 2 were around, we were talking to our friends thinking, imagine what gaming is going to be like in 10 to 15 years time. Can you imagine how realistic and how great gaming is going to be? And here we are in 2021. Gaming is absolutely great. Something I've noticed over the last couple of years is that game companies now think it's acceptable to release a game unfinished and then patch it along the way of its life cycle. Especially if it's a live service game such as Battlefield 2042. They probably released it knowing it has all of the problems, but because they're going to update the game regularly, they think it's acceptable to release the game unfinished and then patch it along the way. I think this is a really bad mindset to have, and I just think it's completely unacceptable. But the sad thing is that I think this is what's going to happen in the future, and if this is the case, every single live service game from now onwards should launch free to play. If a game's free to play and it has problems, do you know what? That's absolutely fine. Of course, you're going to get a few bugs here and there. That's normal with any game. But when we're talking about games like Battlefield 2042, where the frames are so bad, it's almost unplayable on PC, you have all sorts of bugs, and you've paid $60 for the game, it is a little bit like daylight robbery here. I do think the future of gaming is going to be free to play games. And as I said earlier, if a game has problems, you can't really moan about it because it's free to play. And a lot of free-to-play games launch in like an open beta phase, so that is also another safe barrier for game companies, because if there are any problems, then it's an open beta, you know what I mean? Bugs aside, I also think another reason why games just don't typically do well anymore, AAA games that is because games are way too hyped nowadays. I think Apex Legends done it perfectly, and Halo Infinite done it perfectly, where they just thought, do you know what? Let's just release these games out of nowhere without any hype at all. People can't build this imaginary thought in their heads. Battlefield 2042 released the most unrealistic trailer ever. I mean, it was cool. This whole cinematic movie scene of the guy jumping out of the jet, shooting the guy and then going back into his jet. When people watch this trailer, they're going to be expecting to go into this cinematic movie experience, and then they realize, how comes I can't jump out of my jet, shoot this other guy in his jet, and then go back into mine? Because that's not realistic. Back in the glory days, trailers were completely different. I understand that now they need to sell a game, and in order to do that, they need to hype it up as much as possible. But when you do that, the moment the game releases and people start playing it, they just feel completely deflated by the experience they're getting. Now, believe it or not, there is actually a positive to this video. It's not all going to be negative, because I want to speak about indie studios. I truly believe that next year, 2022, we're going to see indie games blow up like we have never seen before. We already saw Splitgate blow up this year, and that is completely deserved, because although that game had a load of problems, it's an indie studio so small, managed to do a better job than most of these AAA developing studios can do with a fraction of the budget. And now they've raised over $100 million and they're probably working on a new title. Do you know what? They totally deserved every success that they got. The game isn't completely dead, but it also doesn't look too great. But either way, they've already succeeded. I think next year we're going to have some really awesome free-to-play indie games launch, and they're going to surprise us. And you know what? They're going to outperform these AAA games that are releasing completely unfinished. They're being greedy, and they've got that mindset of, we're just going to release the game unfinished and then fix it along the way. I think it's a complete wrong mindset to have. And the fact that games have all of this new technology, this Unreal Engine, and they're releasing in worse conditions than games did back 10, 12 years ago. Of course, games like Modern Warfare 3 weren't perfect, but at least the game was playable. And that game launched in 2011. There is a serious problem here that's not adding up. I understand that COVID has caused a lot of developers to work from home. That still isn't an excuse to release the game unfinished and charge people the full price for the game. But do you know what? I just had to sit here and make a video on it because I've just been thinking about this way too much. Battlefield did tip me over the edge and honestly got me to make this video, but I was feeling like this before. We just deserve better as gamers, don't you guys think? But yeah, I really don't know what else to say to you guys. I'm just disappointed at this point. If this is what the future of gaming is like and AAA publishers keep releasing games in this state, I think we're going to see indie games blow up, honestly, and I can't wait to see what sort of games we're going to see next year. The future of gaming has to be free to play. But let me know what you guys think down below on the current state of gaming. I had to make this video because when I've got something stuck in here, I have to let it out to you guys. Something I just want to clarify before ending the video is hate is not going to get us anywhere. You can't go hating on developers, hating on game studios, because that's not the way to go. It's not even the developer's fault that the game's released in this state. It's the publishers that make the final choice. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. This is probably the only negative video you're going to see on the channel, unless 2 years from now, gaming is in a worse state, which to be honest won't even surprise me if that's the case. But I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys soon, I guess.